Now I want to get to a report that's near and dear to my heart. I remember in the last decade seeing the different videos put on YouTube and reading the news articles about American citizens 100 miles deep in the U.S. under federal regulations being pulled out of their cars, drug dogs being brought on board, being questioned. And it's all about raiding not people that are here illegally, that's just their political cover, but going after small-time drug smugglers. And these are simply people that have not laundered their money through Warren Buffett and Wells Fargo and Wachovia that were just caught last year laundering $376 billion in narcotics and paid a $111 million fine on that giant fraud. And so I had forgotten that when I said, hey, let's test the new RV out, it's actually an 11-year-old used bus, by driving it down to the coast with my family with Richard Reeves, I had forgotten that coming back up, they had now set up a checkpoint in the last decade. And this was 99 plus miles into the United States. And we have a map coming up also in this report that shows how these are dotted all over Texas and the rest of the Southwest and also the northern border. And citizens everywhere are just becoming outraged by these internal Soviet-style checkpoints or Nazi-style checkpoints. We'll go ahead and start going to that footage over me where I show the beautiful beach, South Padre. You know, it's the Texas or Mexican Riviera. I mean, it's almost Caribbean in quality. It's right where the Gulf basically starts to meet the Caribbean. That was sunrise that I shot from our hotel room. And then trying to travel back, Richard said, you know, there's a checkpoint up here. And, you know, I made the point of getting the bus so that we could get away from the TSA groping my family. Even before the European Union, countries in Europe didn't have 100-mile in deep or even 5-mile in deep checkpoints. There's a border and then that's it.
And that's where the work should be done. The work should all be done at the border. Simple as that. What I've seen of these checkpoints, they operate 24/7. They never close. What does fluctuate is the intensity of the work that they're doing. And one time I did have a former girlfriend of mine from Thailand, originally from Thailand, but she'd been a U.S. citizen, or actually a green card holder for many, many years. As a matter of fact, long enough that she actually had a son at the Air Force at the time. But yet they pulled us over and they were giving her a hard time, and they really were scaring her, as a matter of fact.
In my experience, they've just asked us if we have drugs. And I'm just like, come on. You know, it's ridiculous. The point is, they claim these are to check citizenship. Why aren't they at the border? A, B, why are they asking about drugs?
Well, that's
every time I've been through these, they just come up to the window, ask questions, and then ask if you have drugs. Have you ever heard of them arresting illegals at these checkpoints?
I haven't heard of anybody being arrested as far as illegals, but I have heard of them, you know, doing drug busts on their competitors. I guess is who they bust with drugs to stop the competition.
Yeah, it's like that bumper sticker, don't steal, the government doesn't like competition. Well, it's coming up. Sometimes it's activated, other times it isn't. We'll see if you sit there in a long queue and a wave through or what happens. Stay with us. We are approaching the domestic checkpoint. They call it an inspection station. Look, with all the lights and cameras, they got license plate reading cameras all right there. They run you through a database. And again, this is to catch people that aren't part of the drug cartel trying to ship in drugs. And they've got all their cops and all the rest of it up here. Okay, so we've been selected for the Soviet/Nazi checkpoint. What are 18-wheelers supposed to go through here?
This is lanes 1 and 2, commercial vehicles and passenger vehicles in these lanes. So I figure we'll get in a shorter queue here.
Oh, that makes sense. We got to have been driving for an hour and a half. I mean, this has got to be 70 miles in. And we weren't even at the border. We were like 10 miles from the border. We went down to South Padre.
We came for at least an hour minimum. We got the dog. They're opening driver's doors.
right there, you got the little federal agents, federal power grab. Feds won't patrol the border, but they'll patrol the good little slaves.
Oh, wait, open your door.
No, they know that. I think they know buses have a door over there. Then let me just get this recorded, okay?
Get in the back with your sister.
They're gonna. Look at this. They open people's doors. And, yeah. This will be good. Good to illustrate this for America. Yeah, get shots of the dog doing the thing, honey. That's good. Here we have the checkpoint. 70 miles off the border. Complete joke. And we've documented in a lot of research across the country, California, Arizona, Vermont, Washington State. They'll go 100 miles deep with these, and it is just a bonanza of federal harassment. And now they're setting up more everywhere. Looks like they just directed that car to pull over for a deeper search right here. Oh, he's telling me not to tape him. Hold on.
You ask your passenger, please, to not record anybody here, please.
But you're taping us.
That's for security purposes.
For security, you're violating my Fourth Amendment. I'm going to give this guy what he wants.
Just asking.
Yeah, and I know you're asking. I got a First Amendment. Now it's like everything's like a big airport. Hey, bro. Hey, good. Since he gave me a speech about my camera, I'm just going to. I'm a radio talk show host. I don't like domestic checkpoints, and I'm going to document this. So,
Okay.
Listen. I'm the one exposing that the major drug cartels work for the U.S. government.
Okay.
So I don't like this.
Okay, can you let me do my job?
Which is what? Stop cowboys? That, you know.
How many on board, sir?
6.
Okay. Do you mind if I come on board and look at everybody and make sure?
Oh no, it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. But go ahead.
You're going to let him come in?
No, I'm not going to. No, I'm telling him it's a
Do you mind if I come in?
No, I'm telling him it's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. I want to illustrate what goes on in America. Oh, it's fine. Start videotaping. You know how to videotape? You're violating my Fourth Amendment.
Oh, I'm not. I'm standing outside of you.
Yeah.
I just need to see everybody, make sure they're U.S. citizens.
Yeah.
That's what we do. United States citizen, ma'am?
Of course I am.
United States citizen?
Yes.
Where are the other people on board?
My children.
All United States citizens?
Yep.
How old are they?
Yep.
Fair enough.
Thank you. Whatever. Got it straight. I'll put my seatbelt back on.
Sir, you are a United States citizen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You guys like going on trips with Daddy? Honey, you were giving us your take on it, so I want you to give us your view on what just happened.
We're just driving along, and there's an illegal, unconstitutional checkpoint that you're forced to drive through, and they terrorize families with their uniforms and a giant dog. People driving away from the beach or wherever they're traveling from, just their families, have to go through a goon station, and then we're filming it, and they come and tell us to stop filming them, which is absurd.
Yeah, we're in our property, our little mobile home, our castle, and
they're in their uniform. They're there to scare you and to make you feel afraid. The kids are scared in the back, and
I think that's why I got my hackles up. They were saying, we're scared. And I told them everything's fine, no big deal.
Well, they know. Everybody knows inherently that they have the right to travel freely, and that if somebody, some goon in some soldier uniform with a big scary dog is going to stop them and stop their car, obviously that's going to freak anybody out, child or adult. Thank God we know our constitutional rights and that it's a violation of our Fourth Amendment for them to even come anywhere near.
But even East Germany and places didn't have internal checkpoints. You had the checkpoint, and that was basically it. I mean, you grew up in Europe a lot, and your dad worked for the agriculture department, and I mean, over there they had a border checkpoint at the country, but not 70 miles in.
Certainly not. It's like being in Mexico or something with big goons with machine guns that stop your car. It's like being in a third world country with
There's some kind of other checkpoint. What is that, Richard?
That was a truck scale, but they're closed right now.
Yeah, just checkpoint, checkpoint, checkpoint.
And that the guy was so angry and telling us to turn off our cameras. Nobody can tell you to stop filming as you're driving down the road with your camera.
Well, that's the issue, is they have all those cameras surveilling us, but then they didn't want me to just be sitting there, and this is a little bitty handheld camera.
And they're there to make you feel like you're a prisoner when you're driving down the road in your property with your family.
Well, we were just attempting to test out the RV because it is a used 11-year-old RV that the Infowars.com operation got, so I can travel around the country for the End the Fed demonstrations that are coming up. And I was kind of playing along with that guy's joke. I was like, oh, no, I don't mind if you violate my Fourth Amendment. And then I was going to tell him as he tried to come in, you're violating my Fourth Amendment, I'm against this. And I do this under protest. And I was planning to sue them because it's on record that the ATF ships the guns into Mexico and ships the drugs into this country, and that certain cartels are exempt and are allowed to ship it in. And I said 70 miles. Once we got home and do check the Google, it's 99 plus miles from our hotel, which is like 10 miles north of the border. So it was over 100. And they supposedly now can set these up all over the country and harass people. This has nothing to do with security. It's time to decriminalize all drugs. Some are good, some are bad, some are not good for you, whatever. The point is decriminalize all of it. Making it illegal drives up the price, and that's why the big banks lobbied to make drugs illegal, was so they can make huge profits off the black market and find a way to pack all their prisons full of innocent people. A modern form of slavery, and it's wrong. But I was ready to have them force their way on, even though my children were there. Because my children have no future if we don't defeat this now. And I watch car after car with that drug dog going in it and just violating people, families in their cars, their kids learn how to be slaves. We're going to come back from break and go to Webster Griffin Tarpley, and then Dr. Corsi's coming up with some bombshell info. I can't believe I'm in this position. I can't believe that I'm the best there is when it comes to fighting the corrupt system. I don't think of myself as anybody. I just know that all over the country they're putting people in prison for videotaping police while they surveil us. And here are the feds out of their jurisdiction, 99 plus miles, almost 100, into the U.S., and the guy walks up and says, don't tape us. When I showed you the footage, you're just cameras everywhere. This is government servants trying to teach us that we're criminals, that we're wrong, that we're bad. They want to videotape us, but we're not supposed to videotape them. But if we don't take these risks for liberty, we invite total tyranny, and it must be resisted.